I recognize the member for Vancouver-Fairview.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. It's been 27 years since the Supreme Court of Canada established women's right to access abortion services in Canada. A couple of years after I was elected to this place, I attended a showing of a film called After Tiller that was held as a benefit for the Elizabeth Bagshaw Women's Health Clinic in Vancouver-Fairview. The person who introduced that film was Dr. Garson Romalis. He talked about the impact on doctors throughout the United States following the murder of Dr. Tiller in Wichita, and he talked about the importance of women having unfettered access to abortion. I think people in this House will know that in November 1994, Dr. Garson Romalis was shot. He was shot while he was in his kitchen in his home. He was subsequently stabbed in the year 2001 in the parking lot of his own practice. Following the second attack, Dr. Romalis, a brave and courageous man who has since passed of natural causes, maintained only his position as medical director of the Elizabeth Bagshaw Clinic. In talking to workers at the Elizabeth Bagshaw Clinic, Honourable Speaker, they talked about the effect on both women and staff of that last attack on Dr. Romalis. The last attack on Dr. Romalis happened after the Elizabeth Bagshaw Clinic moved from a location where they were subject to regular protests outside their doors. I'll return to that in a moment, but I simply want to quote from then Health Minister Paul Ramsey when he introduced the Access to Abortion Services Act in 1995. He said, "This bill ensures that women have access to reproductive health services in an atmosphere of privacy and dignity. Abortion is a legal medical service, and access to medical services is one of the foundations of Medicare." Honourable Speaker, during that debate, the current Speaker of this legislature said, "As I enter into the debate this morning on Bill 48, I do so from a perspective of safety and security." Honourable Speaker, many services are provided at the Elizabeth Bagshaw Clinic, and many women attend. In addition to attending for surgical abortions, they attend for routine ultrasound evaluation, they attend for counseling and community referrals, they attend for birth control counseling and prescriptions, including low-cost sales of contraception. They attend for Pap tests. They attend for screening for sexually transmitted diseases and HIV testing. But, Honourable Speaker, when the clinic itself was subject to regular harassment outside the bubble zone, women were intimidated from attending. And talking to Jill Doctoroff, the executive director of the clinic, she said that since they moved, there hasn't been much protest at Elizabeth Bagshaw, but there's still, in every women's health centre, which is just outside Vancouver-Fairview, a regular group protesting weekly, and they've been doing this for a very long time. Honourable Speaker, protests have an intimidating effect on both staff and women who seek to attend for the services. Women who call Elizabeth Bagshaw will often ask about whether there are protesters outside when they're making an appointment. They say they're relieved when they find out that Elizabeth Bagshaw has moved into an office building with many tenants, which means that they could be walking in for any service whatsoever. The staff definitely feel safer in the new environment. They felt very threatened, despite the fact that they were in an office building when Dr. Romalis was stabbed. And that's why the board of Elizabeth Bagshaw made a conscious decision to move to an office building that, in effect, did not leave women or staff exposed to the intimidation of protests. Honourable Speaker, it is important that women have unfettered access, and that should include freedom from harassment, freedom from intimidation when they are going for medical services which may already be stressful enough. It's for that reason, Honourable Speaker, that I rise today to support this motion and urge the government to consider the point behind the motion that the bubble zone be increased so women do not feel threatened, intimidated, or harassed when they're seeking legal medical services.
Thank you, member.